What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen. In case you didn't know, human beings are an animal. We're one of the most, if not the most intelligent animal on the planet, but we're an animal nonetheless. And this story proves it. This lady sitting up here right now is a young college student. Her name is, let me get this right, Lav Wagner. She just recently moved to New York City, to do her studies at college from out west. And what has happened to this woman shouldn't happen to anyone. We all have something called common sense, yet some of us don't use it. We also have something called personal space. And a lot of people invade that when there's conflict and sometimes when there's not. When you're walking down the street as a normal citizen with other normal citizens, you should not be subject to any type of unwarranted attack on you at any given time, whether you're a man or a woman. What has happened to this woman is disgraceful. It is. It's not a suspect court. So far, police are still looking for the suspect. But like I said before, a lot of people talk about, hey, nobody's protecting black women. There's an open season on women, period. And some guys. There are a lot of people out here, a lot of different social groups now. And I'm not saying just by race, just by individual social groups, whether it's age or whatever, that are being targeted. And it seems like the justice system is not really backing and setting these laws to where people would think twice before assaulting somebody or just doing some random act of violence towards anybody. Elderly, children, a lot of women, young teenagers, or people just minding their business, period. Nowadays, being in your house is not enough to keep you safe. I'm going to play you this video. It's sickening to me. And for some reason, after I seen it, I had to do this story and tell her story. Guys, check this out. And we'll come back and talk about it.
Thank you. A random woman was randomly punched in the face on her way to work last week in Chelsea. She says she didn't know the person who did it, but he's still out there. She shared her story with Eyewitness News reporter Johnny Fernandez.
Lav Wagner is a model and student who moved to the city a year ago from out west. Her bruised eye is a reminder of the horrific encounter she had on Friday.
I was walking to work. This guy was walking this way. He didn't seem like a threat. I was on my phone. I wasn't in the best defense mode. And then before I could realize what was happening, he was charging at me diagonally and he punched me in the face.
Lav says she called 911 and received help.
I was just scared he was gonna come back, or I don't know, I just wanted to make sure he was far away.
Today she's frustrated because this man was a stranger and doesn't understand why he did this.
I'm just extra anxious and aware. Today I've had my key in my hand, just to make sure if anyone came near me, I had a way to defend myself.
Despite 6th Avenue being busy, filled with people and cars, police say that there's been no arrest and very limited details on this man.
This situation really shook me up.
Lav took to social media to share her story on TikTok. She discovered there other women have had similar encounters around the city and now is spreading wisdom to all.
Definitely always have pepper spray or a key or something, and stay off your phone. Make sure to stay alert, keep your head on a swivel. Unfortunately, you just have to treat everyone like a predator.
She's also hoping justice is served and has a message to this mystery man.
Don't you dare do this to anyone else. And I hope you get caught.
In Chelsea.
All right, guys, that was the story of what happened to Lav Wagner. I have a hard time pronouncing her name. But it's despicable. She's on her way to work, doing the right things in life. Like I said, I hate seeing bad things happen to good people. People are trying to find their way in life and get it how they get it, just like you are. Nobody has no reason to attack some random person. And he did this in public. You see what she said? The guy was walking. She was on her phone. She was just doing her normal thing. And the guy looked like he was walking by. And then he cut over. And then he just hit her. It was planned. Why? Why? I mean, the thing is funny. Like, you know, a lot of guys do that stuff. Like, would you do that to a man? You see what I'm saying? Now she says she walks around terrified. She got to walk around with her keys. That's a small woman. The key ain't going to do nothing, man. But I mean, just it's messed up that you got to just grab anything you think will help somebody, will help you, help this not happen to you again when it shouldn't have happened in the first place. You walk down the street and punched a random stranger in the face. She could have been a mother. Damn sure she's somebody's daughter. And she could have been a wife. See, these people be running around here doing random stuff. I mean, not just on women, on men. Crazy crimes. Hurting people in the street while trying to get away from the police. You don't know that a ripple effect that happens. And it can backfire on you. You run around here putting your hands on people. You don't know who these people know or who they related to. And trust me, a lot of people got psychopaths in their family too that go to bat when something happens to them in theirs. And you got to be cognizant of that. Here, this woman is not even from New York and succumbed to some of the violence that's up there and other places around the globe. This is an ongoing thing. People are getting more and more emboldened with just doing a random attack around strangers in public and thinking nothing to happen because everybody now, they either want to turn the other face, you know, turn that other cheek, or they want to do this, which I think messed up a lot. They want to record. I've seen videos where people were getting critically injured and all somebody had to do was probably jump up and say, hey, cut that out. But it'd be a bunch of people there recording. Can you imagine that? You're walking down the street, might have a good soul, and here somebody randomly attacks you. It's bad enough, it's traumatic. Especially if you're a woman and they're beating you up. You can't rationalize with them, and there are a bunch of strangers around recording on their cell phone and not doing nothing. To me, that need to be a crime. Y'all need to stop that shit. That is some corny shit. And that's not human characteristics. We help each other. You see what I'm saying? A lot of crimes out here and a lot of neighborhoods it'd be less crime and less destruction if these criminals knew if you go up in there, them people stick together. We don't do that. Now, granted, everybody has their own way of life, their own way of thinking, and their own problems, but we have to come to some type of agreement in society that certain things shouldn't be tolerated. You should not, as a man or a woman, be walking down the street and somebody just bust you upside your head and nobody do anything or say anything. And you're like, what the hell happened? She was on her way to work. That her getting punched in the eye, that was last week. So you can imagine how it looked at first. And she was prone. Did you hear what she said? I didn't have a chance to defend myself. Why? Because normal human beings don't walk around and smack the shit out or punch each other in the damn face that don't know you. Usually violence comes with a history. The person that's violent has what? A history of violence. But if you're non-violent and you know you ain't got no enemies, when somebody run up on you, your guard would be down. Such, I think, is the case of this. This should have never happened, especially to her. I'm just being honest with you. You know, I talk about crimes against children, crimes against the elderly, crimes against women, crimes against men that, you know, were defenseless and didn't have anything to do with anything. Innocent citizens. This stuff got to stop. The soul that's in you and the life you got, somebody else got the same thing. I tell stories on my channel, on my Friday night live streams that you guys enjoy. And I enjoy telling them. Why? Because I had a good life. I was put in a position to have a good life. The world wasn't like it was back then, where, you know, everybody's a victim. And I just share my life stories with you. Why can't somebody else get these same memories and funny stories to tell somebody else? That's just the way I look at it. And life is positive and negative. You either do or you do not. Between that, everything else is bullshit. And that's just how I live my life. I'm a realist. I look at the real in things. You know what I'm saying? I don't just look at the action. I look at the reason for the action. When you go to court and all this other stuff, a lot of your time is dictated on what? Motive. When you go to trial and this and that, they say, well, what was the motive of the crime? Because the motive dictates mainly if you're innocent or guilty. You guys agree or disagree? This shouldn't have happened to this lady. Shouldn't happen to nobody, especially if you're minding your business. But it's a lesson to be learned in this. When y'all walking around, whether you male, female, or whatever, be cognizant of your surroundings. Don't just stay on that phone. And I know in big cities where I'm from, you know, I'm not from a big city, but I mean around here, I can see people be so comfortable. They walking around with slippers, slide shoes. They walking with the cell phone in the hand and not paying attention to nothing because they in their own world. But a lot of times that can be your worst destruction to yourself. Being too comfortable. Never be too comfortable when you go outside your doors and you enter the real world. Your safe space is your house. Nowadays, it's not even like that, but still, you have to be cognizant of where you are and who you are. Just because you're a responsible human being and you respect people a certain way doesn't say everybody else does. And this is the proof of it. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reasoning channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.